What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment, and I'm here to bring to you my predictions video for this week's game versus New Mexico. Before I get started, if you can, please leave a like on the video. It definitely helps out the channel. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about the game. Are you excited that college football is started once again? How do you feel about the season? If you're seeing this video, definitely check out my season preview video that I did a few days ago, where I give a kind of my feelings about how I feel the whole season is going to go. So definitely check that out. And also, if you enjoy my content, definitely subscribe to the channel. So, it's game one. It's a home game. Bryce has been named a starter. So there's a lot of moving parts that are going to be different for this year, especially on offense. So it's going to be interesting to see how this first game goes. And one of the things that I'm definitely going to be looking out for is to see, just the differences in the offensive philosophy. The transition from Kirk Campbell to Chip Lindsey, how much smoother the offense runs. Obviously, there's going to be a huge step up because of the quarterback situation. So, obviously, that does help. But I'm interested to see just from a scheme standpoint, from a usage standpoint, from a rotational standpoint, from just every different aspect of the offense. That's the key thing that I want to see in this game. Now, do I feel as though Michigan is going to go all out and show everything and do everything in their playbook? No. My honest opinion, I feel as though we're going to do enough to win because we should win, and we should win going away. So it's not one of those things where you have to, empty all the bullets out of the chamber. You can just, do certain things, get certain things accomplished without tipping your hand on certain things, because you're looking to, do certain things to catch, your next opponent, which is going to be a very tough game. You're trying to catch them off guard. So don't expect a whole lot of fireworks from the offense, but I do expect it to be very proficient and just do enough to get the victory and move on. In the championship year, that's what Harbaugh did. And a lot of people were worried we weren't blowing out teams as much as we should be. And when it was all said and done, it didn't really matter. All that really matters at the end of the day is, did you win? Yes or no? So, I feel as though this game is going to be, for all intents and purposes, kind of like a feel out, almost like a preseason game, where you're going to see a lot of players get their run. You're going to see Bryce in there do his thing. And, obviously score dependent will determine how long he stays in there for. But, the more amount of reps that he gets, the better. Because at this point, it's one thing to get the reps in practice and then the spring game and simulated games and all that. But once you get on the field and it's an actual game, there's a different feeling that comes through you, a different, the adrenaline hits. You got the fans watching you. You're on TV. It's a televised game. That you got everybody watching you, and it's you know, a different set of pressure that can hit you that may, affect your ability to play. So it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts and how his first game is and how well he plays. There's different things that I'm going to be interested to see. Like, first of all, the offensive line. I'm going to be interested to see how well they run and pass block. It's pretty much a new set of players that are in there, except for really Crimpin to an extent. He did get in at the end of the year, El Hadi, but everyone else is pretty much new. So it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they can gel as a unit. The wide receivers, that's going to be an interesting thing to see, because last year obviously the quarterback play as a whole obviously had something to do with it, but still, in general, I felt as though the wide receiver play was lacking. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they play, how well they can get open, how well they're schemed to get open, how much separation that they can get, their run blocking, all that I want to see. And, I'm going to be interested to see the defense as well. Are they starting over from scratch, or are they picking up where they left off from last year? That is going to be very interesting to see. You're replacing, the combination of Graham and Grant, which are just, two of the best offensive tackles to ever lace up for Michigan. So it's going to be interesting to see how well their replacements are. Obviously, Rayshon Benny would have been a starter anywhere else, but couldn't really get his shine because those two were in there. So it'll be interesting to see how he steps up for the season. The secondary, it'll be interesting to see how well that they play. And just as a whole, just to see how well the defense play. Can we hold these guys to, single digits? Can we shut them out? All that is going to be interesting for me to see. Overall, I'm just excited that we're just, the season is starting. A lot of pressure, a lot of expectations. The schedule is very, very is navigable. So I feel as though, we can make a push. It just depends on how well we get started out the gate, how well the defense plays, and how well, Bryce plays. Not to lean on him, but if the run game is solid, then, and we keep things even, I think that we're going to have a good season. So as far as keys to the game, nothing spectacular I don't think that we have to do. We just have to limit our mistakes, stay balanced as possible, run versus pass, and, keep the pressure on their offense, and just, defensively, just play solid and let the play come to you. Other than that, I don't feel as though this should be a close game. To me, it should be one of those games where, if we play to our ability, both on both sides of the ball, that this is one of those games where the game should be pretty much out of hand by the end of the first half. And then you might see Bryce be in for a series or two in the second half, and then it'll just be the backups come in and, for mop-up duty. That's the way I see it. Anything shorter than that, then it is a matter of concern. So as far as my prediction, I'm looking at probably being I would say probably 42-7 is my prediction for the score for Michigan. So hopefully and prayerfully that is the case, and we can move on to game number 2. Obviously, you don't want to overlook or look past an opponent, and hopefully we don't do that. We come out with the focus that we need in order to get the job done so we can move on to next week, 1 week at a time. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. As always, please leave a like on the video. Leave me a comment in the comments section below if you made it this far. Let me know what you feel the score is going to be, and how excited you are for Michigan football once again. And if you enjoy my content, definitely subscribe to the channel. Anyways, thank you for watching, and as always, go blue.